What's going on, y'all? What's going on, y'all? If I'm coming in with a little bit of lackluster energy today, it's there. But, we going to have a good motherfucking episode. The world may be tripping out, but we finna have a good motherfucking episode. So, actually, let me run this bitch back. How y'all doing? What it do, y'all? Yeah. Let me turn my attitude. Yeah. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, y'all? My name is KVNGJAY, Josh, all the monikers. I'm your host for Royal Voices. This is Royal Voices, Season 2, Episode 6, y'all. Royal Voices is the official podcast of Kvngdom. Kvngdom is a creative hub for music, art, and fashion, especially we uplift creators in a variety of ways through networking, engagement, spotlighting, and a ton of other different things. So, y'all, before we get into the episode today, make sure y'all stay locked in with the brand, the show, all that good stuff to make sure that you don't miss nothing going on in this space. So, on Instagram and TikTok, our handle for Kvngdom is kvngdom.co on Instagram and TikTok. And then for the podcast, Royal Voices Podcast, all one word, on YouTube, as well as Instagram and TikTok. And of course, follow your boy, the kid, the king, on Instagram at _JAYTHEDO and underscore. And the link tree in my bio will have access to all the other great things I'll be getting involved in. Now, how y'all doing out there? How is y'all doing out there? I got me some water. Just getting some water intake here. And I feel like a lot has been happening. I feel like a lot has been happening this weekend, this week. 4th of July has just passed. Didn't celebrate it. But did get some liquor, did get some, food and stuff, and yeah. I'm excited for today's episode. Artist Spotlight is back in the mix, so yes. Very excited about that one. Back to our regularly scheduled programming, and I mean that at this point in time. But I feel like honestly and truly, the world, specifically the let me clarify, not the world, but just America, feels like there's a cloud over it. Um, and I feel like this energy is heavily in the air. So I want to just, before we get into anything, because we're gonna get into the politics, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about why the cloud is over the country and stuff right now. But y'all, one thing I do want to say, and I'm gonna say before we get to any damn thing, don't let motherfuckers take your joy, your smile, your motherfucking shine. Okay, we here, we breathing, we alive, and we well. And every morning you get up to see another day, to see the sunrise, to breathe in air. If you got a roof over your head, clothes on your back, if you got food in your belly, if you got the things you need, you may not have everything that you want, but you got the things that you need. Take those blessings and be grateful in that space, for sure, always and forever. But don't let the world around us fuck with us, okay? I really need people to just maintain their character. We gonna get to some things, but no, we still here today. And with that, we gonna go ahead and get into these politics. So y'all, I am, unfortunately announcing or sharing that the bill we talked about last episode, the big, beautiful, ugly, stupid ass bill, has officially passed. I know. It's very much a detriment. Um, as I shared last episode, this bill is kind of one big ass sweep, specifically at the poor people of America and the middle class, but primarily the poor people who are the people who are underneath the poverty line. I think there's a lot of confusion on what this bill officially means now that it's now been signed into law. And I understand that a lot of our legal system, a lot of our laws and things that are on the books are designed in a way for you to not follow. For the person who's not averagely just watching and attuned to politics, for the average person who's just not aware of what certain terminologies mean or the underlining things that may be covered from big titles and headlines. So I understand the confusion that's out there. With that understanding, like I said, am locked in with a lot of social media spaces that share reliable information because we are in a time where you need to be verifying your motherfucking information. Always. I love my mom and my daddy so much. Shout out my parents for always teaching me and my sister to read. And don't take shit for face value. Don't take nothing nobody told you and just run with it. Like I tell y'all all the time, Google is free. Social media can add on to the thing that you may be interested in learning about. But in order to understand things for what the reality is, read. Read. Okay? Now, because I know people don't want to read, I took the liberty this time to go ahead to TikTok. Because there are supplemental ways to get information. And I think this is a good individual that really does bring attention to some things. Now, this person has been called out, criticized, and I really think because he has been sharing a lot of information people don't want you to be aware of. And he's also blockading and interacting in spaces heavily with Republicans that are not appreciating anything that he's doing because it makes them look stupid. So, I have a TikTok here from Aaron Parnas, AARONPARNAS. Look him up on Instagram and TikTok. Very, very, very good news source individual. I will say before I play this damn clip, you got to take it in doses, okay? The world is crazy, and baby, America alone could fill novels of bullshit. So, if you are a person who likes to doom scroll or sits into a space and gets into a mindset of, the world around me is ending, life doesn't mean da. I would highly encourage you to go touch some grass. Okay, do something else with your time. But Aaron is a good person to lock in with and just kind of check in every now and then and kind of see what's going on, and or to provide clarity to things that you may be hearing about and just not fully understanding. So I'm going to take a second to pass it on over to Aaron to let us know much more about this budget bill and kind of what that means specifically.
Months ago, the budget bill passed, which means that $930 billion in Medicaid cuts will be made. Hundreds of billions of dollars in SNAP benefits will be cut. Many Affordable Care Act subsidies will end or expire. ICE will soon become the nation's largest law enforcement agency, with more employees than the Bureau of Prisons. There will be increased funding for the Department of Defense, tax cuts for the top 1%. According to the Congressional Budget Office, the top 1% will benefit the most, the bottom 10% will benefit the least. It's heading to the president's desk. This is not going back to the Senate. They passed this bill. Donald Trump will sign it potentially as soon as today, but likely over the next day or so before the 4th of July weekend. Some of these cuts will take effect immediately. Others won't take effect until after the November 2026 midterm elections. The deficit will be raised. The debt will be raised by trillions of dollars as well. This is real, and it just happened. So I wanted to let you know, follow along for more. Breaking news.
Thank you, Aaron, for shedding some light on the situation. Now, I know a lot of people are impacted by this. And I'm going to actually throw in the other article we were going to get into today about alligator Alcatraz, because it's also kind of was happening at the same time of the other bill, which Alligator Alcatraz. Let me read this article really quick for you from NPR for those who are not aware. And I'm kind of going to dive into both these topics at the same time. But Alligator Alcatraz is a detention facility that has been built over the last 2 weeks. So, or actually the last week. So the headline is President Trump tours new Florida detention facility dubbed Alligator Alcatraz. In Florida on Tuesday, President Trump attended the opening of a migrant detention facility dubbed Alligator Alcatraz. Officials say it is currently for housing 3,000 migrants before they're deported. Trump says Florida can be a model for other states that want to help the federal government deport immigrants without legal status. Trump joined Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and other officials yesterday to tour a new detention center that's being built, being called Alligator Alcatraz. NPR's Greg Allen reports. So he came in kind of on the Air Force One to the hastily constructed facility at a training airport near the Everglades National Park. He clearly likes the location in the heart of an unforgiving freshwater marsh known for its alligators, pythons, and mosquitoes. Trump has said they have a lot of bodyguards and a lot of cops that are in the form of alligators. You don't have to pay them so much, but I wouldn't want to run through the Everglades for long. The state and federal government have moved quickly, building the 3,000-bed facility in just over a week, but there have been protests by immigrant advocates, environmental groups, and indigenous people who live in the Everglades. Some of them filed a federal lawsuit last week asking a judge to block the site from being used as a detention center. Paul Schweep, SCHWIEP, an attorney representing the environmental group, says that Trump administration in the state of Florida are seeking to ignore federal law that requires them to hold hearings and consider the project's impact. So I would encourage people to continue and go ahead and read that article. I'll have it linked below. I think I'll start from moving forward when I have articles and stuff, just adding them into the bios for you to go ahead and peruse on your own, so you don't have to go look them up on your own. However, I combined both of these things today because this is what we're going to talk about for our political segment. I think both of these stories really coincide in the sense and the nature of where we are as a country. I really want to make it clear we are no longer in a democracy. This is not that. It's not that. Because the democracy has rules and order, and the imagery or the illusion behind a democracy is still in place. But when you have administrations not abiding by the law, it's almost as if almost every story I've been reading since this election, since the inauguration, we've been reading stories left and right of the questioning of legality behind the things Trump and friends do. From the start of these ICE raids, for the lack of due process, from the arguing with federal judges, from not listening to court orders, to also with this damn prison or this detention facility not abiding by the proper rules and procedures. Clearly, the rules that are in place are on the books but are not being followed, are not being enforced, and are, quite frankly, not being given a fuck about. So I would really encourage people to get the hell out of this mindset of thinking words don't fucking matter. Actions matter as well. So do words. But when we've said since the start of all of these things, y'all, we are in danger. I don't know how else to paint the picture. I don't know what else to fucking say. You have a president who is a rapist, who has 34 felonies, who is on Epstein's list. Well, now allegedly not on the list no more, because now the list for some reason now there's no longer a list according to the DOJ and FBI. You've heard that right. There's no longer an Epstein list because apparently there never was a client list, according to the DOJ and FBI, which is crazy, ironically, after the fact that Elon Musk got on social media saying Trump is on this list. This list we knew was existing prior to the acknowledgement of Elon Musk, and now that he said Trump is on the list doesn't exist anymore? The list never existed to begin with? I don't do these things to scare nobody. And I know the waters we are in now are unfamiliar to people. And people my age, I'm 27. So all the shit experiences we have about shit like this is through movies and television and history classes and social studies. You get what I'm saying? We've read about crazy things like this happening. We've watched the movies about crazy dystopian societies where rule and order becomes so corrupt it's no longer that, or it treads a line so wobbly that it's hard to even hold it accountable. We are in some weird ass times, and I want y'all to get the fuck with the program. Get the fuck with the program. You know, I've been hearing a lot of people, and I'm saying it the program because I've been hearing a lot of people say shit like, "Oh, you know, well, Trump and friends have said a lot of things, but they're not going to do things. There's things in place to make sure that they can't do those things, like becoming a dictator or abusing power or abusing legal systems or reconstructing meanings and processes to see fit in which Trump and friends see fit." I don't understand where this mindset has come from because I even have friends who said some stupid shit like this. Seeing is believing, absolutely. Actions do speak louder than words, but baby, them words still fucking hit. If somebody threatened to open fire in a school because they didn't do it yet, by your logic, it wouldn't matter because they didn't do it yet. But I'm pretty sure if you got an email or a call from your motherfucking school and your child is attending this school and the teachers are telling you, well, we had a threat from a parent that they were going to open fire at a school, what would you do? Would you take that for face value? Would you act? Would you pick your kid up from school, or would you say, that's crazy? But it didn't happen yet. So the delusion that y'all living in is really concerning. And I love to joke and kiki and ha-ha. And this tone of voice I'm giving you right now, I'm being dead ass. It's nothing funny. If y'all heard what Aaron said, people are literally going to be hurt by these things. And you know, the more these things have unfolded over this last few weeks, not just this bill, but just watching stuff happen since January, I started to kind of understand something that I really struggled with when I was in school, which was I couldn't comprehend. Like when I was learning about large scale things like the Holocaust or the Trail of Tears or slavery or Japanese entrapment camps or all these just wild shit things where masses and masses and masses of people were subjected to things by a few people with hateful rhetorics or by people with hateful energies in their hearts. And I would always wonder, well, how the hell did this was this even allowed? Like how was the numbers was so off? Like is this group of people being oppressed and hurt and harmed and killed, and this group of people y'all outnumbered? Like how was this even possible? Or even when it came to like Jim Crow and stuff like that, I always attributed it to people just not being connected. Like, oh, they ain't got no phones, or oh, they didn't have an understanding of each other, background. They was going off propaganda and shit like that. But that positioning I had to kind of rethink over these last few months because we are in a time right now where we are connected more than ever through our phones, through social media. It's so quick to get to point A to point B. We got planes, we got trains, we got underwater transportation, we got Uber, we got Lyft, we got shit that pick you up from your house. We got everything on these phones. You can look up anything. You can learn languages. You can watch TV. You can learn how to code. I can pick my phone up right now, find a motherfucker in China and learn Mandarin. I can do the same shit, pick my phone up right now, go to Spain, learn Spanish from a motherfucker in Spain. Like, do y'all understand the connectivity? I can go to my phone right now and learn what it's like to be somebody else I don't ever have to be. I can pick up my phone and get into the life understanding of a person who has a disability. I can pick my phone up and see what it's like experience wise for somebody who's transgender. I can pick my phone up and go see what it's like to live as an Amish person. We are connected more than ever, and we still have these issues. And I boiled it down to 3 things. People lack critical thinking and comprehension skills, have grown more individualistic than a collective mindset, and truly, 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 a lot of people are not intelligent, are not smart. And I'm not saying everybody's stupid. What I'm saying, there is a lot of stupid people. And when I'm saying stupid, I mean people who actively go against good judgment. Even when it puts them in harm's way, type stupid. Let me break this down for y'all. Critical thinking and comprehension skills help motherfuckers put 2 and 2 together, right? Help people make inferences and help people understand the things going on around them, right? Like if example, if history shows, right, this motherfucker over here is known for slapping people with blue shirts. If he see a person with a blue shirt, he just has a history, he has a tendency of smacking hoes just because they got on a blue shirt. Critical thinking, comprehension, context clues would help you infer if you come around this motherfucker with a blue shirt on. It's likely, highly probable that you may get slapped. Not because you standing there, not because you too close, not because you exist, but because you're wearing a blue shirt. That is why he might slap the hell out of you. Comprehension skills. You get what I'm saying? That's one thing, right? Right. Okay, follow me. Now, individualistic values, that's the second part. Individualistic values like self-preservation are important at times, right? Like when it comes to a space where you have to protect yourself or your life is, the main one, especially when you are the only one in your life. If you are a person who don't have a lot of friends or don't have family around you, sometimes you have to really think about yourself, right? If it's just you, self-preservation would say, okay, you need to go get some food to make sure you are okay. You ain't finna pay food for everybody, but you need to make sure that you get some food. You get what I'm saying? That's the space where individualistic thinking it makes sense. It's helpful. But when it comes to things like being able to shift into a collective mindset, you have to be able to balance the two. And a lot of people don't do that or can't do that. Maybe because they've been in the survival mode for so long and they just are in a space where they focus only on themselves. But for the most part, it's people just truly being selfish. Individualistic thinking is a very common thing of America. That's one of our main qualities, main traits. Mind your business. You don't give a damn what the next person over there doing. You get what I'm saying? Individualistic thinking is how you can walk past a homeless person and not bat an eye because you don't give a damn. So when your individualistic thinking becomes detrimental to the collective society, that's when it becomes the issue. There's times where collectivism is important, right? Like, for example, if we're on an elevator, it wouldn't make sense for the collective for me to be up on this motherfucker jumping up and down. Because it's a possibility that if too many of us are jumping up and down, this bitch gonna crash. But that requires a sense of empathy and a sense of concern for your fellow person. But a lot of Americans, unfortunately, are selfish. Unfortunately, a lot of people are selfish. Now, mix all of that, the lack of critical thinking, the lack of context clues, the lack of comprehension with selfishness, and top that bitch off with stupidity, top that hoe off with lack of good judgment, and we have a large population of this country. And again, this is no funny shit. This is not me being ha ha he he. This is really sad. This is really, really sad because the amount of people who are willing to operate this way even when it hurts themselves, this bill is going to impact majority of America. Even if you're not below the poverty line, if you're in that middle class space, you're going to feel the impacts. Your taxes are going up. If you got different insurance, you're not on Medicare, Medicaid, you're going to feel it because why? People who are on Medicare, Medicaid and can no longer access those things are going to just start doing what? Going to hospital emergency rooms to be seen immediately without an appointment, and then will incur hospital fees they cannot cover, which will inevitably come back to the hospitals, which will inevitably impact your insurance organizations, thus increasing your premiums and your deductibles and your copay. So when I say collective thinking, even think that you're not operating in, you may not get food stamps, you may not get Medicare, you may not do any of those social welfare programs, but you still have a part in the system collectively because it's an ecosystem. It's a social network. Pell Grant, gone. So for my college students out there, ugh. And y'all, one thing I do want to get into real bad, and I've been saying this for these last few episodes, I need y'all to stop focusing on this whole no tax on tip shit. No tax on overtime. First of all, it's a deduction. And second of all, there's a $25,000 cap. And it's not, it's only for 3 years. You got. And at this point, I'm thinking straight to the Republicans, to the MAGAs, to the people who support Trump. You goofy hoes keep getting got over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. Y'all are boasters, especially y'all older ones. Y'all think y'all understand something because you saw a Facebook post. Do y'all know how many people on the 4th of July was in my motherfucking city yelling, roving, and raving about not getting motherfucking taxes on overtime and was retired?
Jesus.
My God. Jesus. B. Simone voice. Jesus. It just, the math does not math, and specifically Republicans. And I'm saying this to y'all, the people who voted for Donald Trump, the people who still advocate for this man today, y'all keep getting got. Because majority of that fan base is poor. Majority of that fan base is going to feel the impacts of this bill. You're not exempt because you support Trump. They are banking and really using your prejudiced, racist ways, your homophobic and transphobic ways, your belief that you're going to just become a millionaire overnight from a bill Donald Trump passes, and they're using it against y'all. Y'all are so far up this man and administration ass that y'all are literally believing something that don't exist. We have bills that you can look the fuck up that would show you how wrong you are. And because so many people are not willing to say, you know what? I made a mistake. You know what? I was wrong. You are willing to double down and justify dumb shit that you know is fucking dumb because you don't want to look like you made a mistake. You don't want to look like you're supporting a racist. You don't want to look like, but you're doing the thing that you don't want to look like. You get what I'm saying? I'm hoping and praying if there's any Trump supporters watching me, anything like that, listen to these things. We're not calling these things out to make fun of you. But y'all hoes are too old. If you are voting in elections, if this is your 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th election that you done voted in, I understand the little niggas, the 19, 19, 20, 21, up to 25. I get y'all. I can comprehend your stupidity because y'all in college. Y'all the young adults. Y'all the ones on TikTok, Twitter, and all this other shit trying to figure some shit out and thinking you think you know the world. Cool, bro, but cool. But you older ones, people who got kids, 17, 18, 19, 20, think about how you're raising your children. A lot of y'all are racist. Have it. A lot of y'all want to start a race war, want to start this capitalist versus home. Y'all want to start war so bad. Y'all want to fight people so bad. Y'all hateful in your heart so much that y'all passing this down to your children. It's concerning. And y'all are harming the collective because of stupidity, hatred, and lack of critical skills. And it's sad to see. So honestly, like I said before, I don't know the extent of this fucking bill. And in this alligator Alcatraz that I believe is now in operations, I don't know the extent of that either. I can make an inference and put two to two fucking together. I do understand from the tour video that I was seeing that Trump is promising and hoping to do similar things in other states to make makeshift detention facilities in other states. I also recognize in that tour that Trump said out of his fucking mouth that he's going to go on to have ICE go on and make deals with local farmers who are having a lot of immigrants work on their farms, not give them citizenship, but create a thing called owner responsibility, where the farm owners will be responsible for ensuring they maintain the immigrants on their property while they still pay taxes, but they won't get citizenship. What does that sound like to you? Read the fucking room. You have a president building camps. You have a president consolidating power. You have a president enforcing police to go against citizens. Over half of the people who are in ICE custody do not have any prior offenses. What happened to the whole Trump is going after the illegal immigrants who are criminals? He is going after people at this point. Y'all need to get y'all motherfucking heads together because he also just revoked the citizenship or the legal status of over 500,000 Haitians. There's blockades for students coming to the U.S. to study and to learn. Y'all get mad when we say stuff like Nazis, that you're acting like and flying coincidingly signs and flags from the Nazi regime. You have people enforcing makeshift camps. You have people being taken off the street with people in ski masks, no identification, and put into fucking vans and just driven somewhere. Use your voice. Use your voice. Use your power, because it still resides with the people. And I don't give a fuck what the world try to convince you to be. God is with the people. All of this shit is meant to scare people, to make you complacent, to make you compliant. Like I said in prior episodes, I love civil disobedience. The same way they tried to come to a Haitian community in New York and they got ICE out of their community collectively. Stand tall, know your rights, but also recognize we are in a space and time where your rights may not be acknowledged. And I would encourage everybody who's watching to ask yourself, what do you do then? So, with that being said, I don't have the answers to everything going on. I'm 27. We stronger together. In the minute we all collectively can recognize the attempts of division that are running through this country, the more intentional you can be in fostering community, and the much more attentive you can be to protecting and preparing and navigating things strategically. So don't operate in fear. Don't let motherfuckers take your joy. Smile. But be smart and educate yourselves. It's a storm coming. It is. But I firmly believe we're going to be okay. Because we always are. So stand tall. As more information comes out, I'll be sure to make sure I bring it to you all. And we're going to make sure we move forward together, despite all the fuck shit and dumb shit happening around us. Okay? So, Now I got that in my system because child politics. I may have to change that segment around. I don't know, but let's make things a bit more bright. Well, I guess not bright, but something else to get our mind off the bullshit of the world, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into the let's talk about it with King. Yes, sir. So y'all, we have a update for the Diddy trial. I know. Let me go ahead and pull up this article from AP News, y'all. Now y'all know we've been following this case for damn near a year and some change now at this point. If you are again missing prior episode, I would encourage y'all to go ahead and watch those because we got into all the nitty gritties of this damn case. But long story short, child, I didn't believe that Diddy would face 100% jail time let me clarify, not 100% guilty verdicts for his case because he had a lot of things brought against him. But I did believe he gonna get some kind of charges because y'all, these testimonies in this damn case itself has been a key. It's just a key. They talk about shit, doing shit, Diddy doing shit I didn't even know existed. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into this article. It is titled "Sean Diddy Combs is denied bail after mixed verdict clears him of top charges in sex crime case." So again, this is AP News. So Sean Combs dropped to his knees and prayed in the courtroom after he was acquitted Wednesday of sex trafficking and racketeering charges that could have put the one of hip-hop's favorite celebrity figures behind bars for life. The rapper was convicted of lesser prostitution-related offenses and denied bail as he awaits sentencing. His lawyer, Mark Agnifilio, called the verdict a great victory and said the jury got the situation right, or certainly right enough, as he stood outside Manhattan federal court at a stand of microphones. Today is a victory of all victories. The mixed verdict capped a sordid legal odyssey that shattered Combs' affable Puff Diddy image, indeed, and derailed his career as a Grammy-winning artist and music executive, fashion entrepreneur, brand ambassador, and reality TV star. "I'll see you when I get out," Combs told family members, including his mother and children, just before leaving the courtroom to return to jail. "We're going to get through this." Combs stands convicted of two counts of crime, transportation of engagement in prostitution that carries a maximum of 10 years in prison, but jurors cleared him of 3 charges, 2 of which carried a mandatory 15 years and a maximum of life. He was convicted of flying people around the country, including his girlfriends and male sex workers, to engage in sexual encounters, a felony violation of the Federal Mann Act. Combs' lawyers said that under federal sentencing guidelines, he would likely face about 2 years in prison. Prosecutors, citing Combs' violence and other factors, said the guidelines would call for at least 4 to 5 years. Locked up since his September arrest, Combs was already served 9 months, meaning he would have about 3 months to wrap it up for that year, and then the other additional time. "We fight on and we're going to win," Agnifilio said, "and we're not going to stop until he walks out of prison a free man," to his family. So let me just clarify what he was actually charged with, and then kind of what he was found guilty for and not guilty. He had 5 counts overall: racketeering conspiracy, which had a maximum of life in prison, not guilty; sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, not guilty, which was a maximum sentence of life in prison. He was found guilty for transportation of purposes of prostitution, with a maximum of 10 years in prison. And then sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, not guilty. Transportation for purposes of prostitution, found guilty, with a maximum of 10 years in prison. Now, I would encourage y'all to go ahead and return to that article because it goes further into kind of like recapping a little bit of what the testimonies were during the time of the Diddy trial itself. However, y'all, it is truly crazy that this man only got off on 2 accounts. So for that, I'm gonna go ahead and clap it up for that. Out of the case. Yeah. Now, like I said, I didn't think he would. Our last episode, I didn't think he would face 100% of those verdicts because of how the testimonies were going and how the witnesses were presenting themselves on the stand. Now, I'm never one to deny victims of situations that they have gone through, and I will not do that today. I will never start doing that. But I will say, when they got on that stand, lawyers had a pretty easy time trying to frame the stories or make the stories look like they were coming from just like jealous side chicks or bitter bitter girlfriends. Essentially, it was a few, I believe one or two Jane Does who kind of said, like, even like verbally admitted, like, yeah, they were comfortable at first kind of being like in this like open relationship, it sounds like, but once they started seeing Diddy and other women and stuff on social media, they kind of started getting bitter and jealous and all that kind of stuff. So there was also this consistency of like some of them wanting to be involved in these freak offs and stuff like that. Then at some point, a feeling of like, I gotta get out of this came over them. And because people had a point of time where they were willing to be engaged in these things, that kind of got more focused on. Now, do I agree with this verdict? No. No.
And
I really, truly, my spirit feels there's more to this story. And I really do believe that, Diddy was able to duck some of the legal smoke here, just because of how certain things were presented and how, certain things came off. However, like I said from the start, I'm more concerned with the people we don't see. I'm more concerned with the people behind the scenes that are doing things worse than Diddy, and was using this case as a moment to take attention off of certain things and or use this moment to further hide the things that they are doing. Okay, I think it needs to be acknowledged that the stories and things that these women were talking about and these sex workers were talking about, something like that, are crazy. And where there's smoke, there's fire. Always. So what he has been convicted of, what he's been found guilty of, is one thing. What he avoided is another. And I just think people need to be a bit more attuned to things around them, because I think there's more to this. And I have this sneaky feeling that it's not done. And maybe that's because we don't have an official sentencing as of yet. My 2 cents hypothetical, I think he's going to get anywhere between 5 to 7 years, if that, in prison. And because he's already been in the jail space for, I believe, 9 months or whatever, it'll be a little bit less than that as well. But that's just how I'm seeing. That's just the conspiracist in me from everything I was just saying. That's just the conspiracist in me. But the article again mentioned that he was denied bail while waiting for his sentence. So I'm pretty sure the time that he goes back now into October, which is the time we're supposed to get the sentencing verdicts from the judge and stuff like that, is where they may also add that time on to the time that he already served. So I'll be sure to stay up to date with all what's going on, all of these things, and be sure to bring it back to y'all. Okay. So next on the docket we have is this XXL list, y'all. Have y'all been keeping up with the announcement of the XXL freshman class for 2025? I really am a person, like I said, I love me some music, y'all, and rap, hip hop is my go-to, you know what I'm saying? If you haven't gotten into It's Only Right, go ahead and stream that on all platforms for the kid. Whenever we get to these freestyle lists, whenever we get to these freshmen and stuff like that, I gotta always have my little 1-2s. Even when I was doing my YouTube videos and stuff when I was in college and stuff, I had to always give some kind of take on it. So I went ahead and pulled this list, right? Because I, to my surprise, was not in the loop for this damn list coming out. But when I started seeing it was a key to me. So I have this article from hotnewhiphop.com that will kind of go over this XXL reveal of the 2025 freshman class. Now, y'all, we've had a lot of people run through this list. We've had a lot of people run through Double XL, y'all, a lot of big names and stuff like that. So this is really a space for people to kind of get their launch into, you know, stardom or a lot more exposure than they may have had from being bubbling already. So let me just go to this article. It's that time of year again as Double XL is back to reveal the latest edition of the storied freshman class. So this is the 18th list from Double XL, and you know it's been a selection of 12 artists out of 68 that are being considered overall. So kind of in alphabetical order for those who are on the list are 1900 Rugrat, Baby Chief Do It, EBK J-Bo, EM Trippin' or EM Trippin', G-Lo or Jello, depending on how you pronounce it, but that's LeAngelo Ball, the basketball player, and Ian. Then comes Laser Dim 700, Low Shimmy, Nino Paid, Ray Vaughn, and Samra Sin, and YTB Fat. So this so y'all, this list, you know, has really, as always, sparked some controversy in the music world, in social media, you know. I feel like, you know, I'm not even mad personally at the artist. Right. I'm not mad at the artist. Is it good? Is it bad? That's subjective, but in my subjective opinion, I don't think it's good. I don't think it's a good list. I just don't think it's a good list. I really don't. I'm sorry. I really don't. I really, 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 truly don't. But that's just me. Now, you know, whenever a list for hip hop top artists or top freshmen or top lists or whatever the fuck for music comes out, it's gonna always be a yay and a nay situation with people because music is subjective. Okay, so something I think is cold, you may think is trash. Something that you think is fire, I may think is bullshit. However, I be feeling like there is a issue with Double XL that has been off for years, and that's why I'm saying I'm not mad at the artist. Double XL needs to be held accountable. So to the front, Double XL, because I got some shit to say. Okay, when you are in these spaces, every year people get confused as to why people are mad at these lists, right? And Double XL will be something like, well, I don't understand the problem is because y'all have a responsibility of accountability for the next generation of talent. Okay. When the subjectiveness of music is in the forefront, people can't always be transparent in how they saying things or always be seen in the right way of what the fuck they're trying to say. Music has died down. I'm not bullshitting. Look at the stats. Argue with the data, not me. But hip hop has been declining ever since we reached, I believe, was it the 50th or 40th year of hip hop when we reached that pinnacle. Yeah, the 50th anniversary of hip hop. When we reached that, it started to just start plateauing. It then started going downward. Labels started dropping artists left and right. Labels are losing money. Billboard been confused for years. Grammys don't even give a fuck about that shit no more. Award shows become comical. And we are now in a generation of TikTok popcorn here and there, then gone as artistry. And specifically in hip hop. We have to start holding these spaces accountable for the shit they push out. Okay? The bar is in hell for artistry. The bar is in hell because collectively, a lot of artists are ass. And I'm not saying ass because they can't rap, because they can't sing, because they can't, you know what I mean? But because a lot of the people getting attention and focus are people who are just popular, not because of talent, not because of substance, not because of anything groundbreaking, trend setting, anything like that, but because people are popular. We got to this space of confusion when people are laughing at you versus laughing with you. And not just in music, but even in social media, the people who are influencers and stuff who have made platforms for themselves, some folks have gotten into those spaces from being the joke. And I'm going to always commend people for recognizing that and capitalizing on it. But I'm also going to acknowledge people who don't comprehend that. You get what I'm saying? And y'all create these media personas of people who don't need to be in these spaces. Not because they're not deserving, but because you have responsibilities as these individuals to shape the culture around you. And when you can't shape shit because you're getting relevant and put on for nothing, you burn out and fizzle. And then you become one of those here, there, and gone type individuals. Same thing lasts as in music. That's the issue. A lot of labels and stuff started looking at marketability and profit, and then turn around and wonder why you don't have artists who can't last for longer than 5 years. Why artists be 10, 15 years in and only got 2 albums, only got an EP. These are the things that come into this space. Yes, marketability and profit are important, absolutely. But the root of this, of music, of rap, and all that kind of stuff is artistry, substance, experience. And when people are being put on lists for having a trendy TikTok dance, nigga, we are here to rap. When you are getting put on shows and stuff to perform, and you only got one song, and half the song, ooh, let me stop. Love you, girl. But what I'm trying to say is when you put into these spaces and you only have that, these are the things that contribute to the cultural norms of what hip hop and rap is. Yes, anybody can be a rapper. Yes, anybody can be a music artist. But there's a difference, right? Between being, I don't want to be rude to nobody, so I ain't gonna say no names. But there's a difference between being on for 15 minutes and being on for the next 20 years. Do y'all understand we have artists to this day who get paid for records they made 20, 30 years ago? Prime example, Boosie Badass. BOOSIEBADAZZ. That's me. Wipe me down. Set it off in this motherfucker. My click called dogs. Bitch, don't make me set it off. You get what I'm saying to you? Like, Too Short. What's my favorite word? Shit, Kaya. My neck. My back. It's because it was artistry in those things. You get what I'm saying? How many people on today can you say we're going to be playing in the next 10 years? You get what I'm saying? This XXL list has had some names. You know what I mean? Has had some names. Megan Thee Stallion, J. Cole, Kendrick, 21 Savage. You get what I'm saying? People who got some runs, and it made sense. You get what I'm saying? It's like music today. Niggas ain't saying shit. They ain't flowing shit. People barely own the beats. Barely own the beat that they create. This shit really be getting to me. It really do. And it's a line from Doechii where she said, talent doesn't put you center stage, it's the audacity. I've said that several times on the show before. But the more I see this, the more I'm recognizing what she means. It's like talent don't matter no more. And we have these things coming out where it's like, what the fuck is happening? The reason why I even knew Double XL was on this thing right now because of a nigga named Ian. I'm pretty sure he got songs and stuff that go crazy. Now, do they look 1-2? But to have him on this list and to put out a snippet of this man's rap, If this man's freestyle and this nigga get on this damn track and say, feeling like DJ Khaled, we the best, we rolling deep, I feel like Adele, I'm too high for this, Jesus take the wheel. And I'm thinking the freestyle was just, oh, it was just a snippet. Maybe when it come out, it'll be, no. Y'all, we just gotta, we just gotta do better. Okay, we need, if you make music, and I mean make music, put it out. Please. This is why I have Artist Spotlight. Because there's so many quality artists. It's so many talented people. So many people that exist that keeps making me hopeful for the status and the status of music. It keeps me hopeful for the status of creativity. Not just in music, but in every other facet, in every other industry of the creative space. There's so many people who exist today who are my age and younger who have this eye. On this episode for Artist Spotlight, I told my cousin, baby Scythe, he has an energy, a spark, a give a fuck mindset behind the shit he creates. And that, for any artist, should make you happy as hell. Happy as hell. I love seeing people win. I love seeing artists get their flowers. I love seeing artists get recognition. I love seeing people who put the work, time, energy, and effort behind things have it pay off. And that's why I can't be upset with the people who are on this list. I can't. Because that's some hating ass shit. But what I am saying is make these spaces of status. Make these spaces you gotta motherfucking work for. And I'm pretty sure every person on our list worked for it. You have to have some kind of credentials, some kind of notoriety prior to even being on the list. So for that, you've been putting in work. But when you are coming up to the plate to bat, bring your A game every motherfucking time. Every time. And don't get me wrong, freestyles is I'm not sure if people are doing it off the dome, if they writing their stuff, if they just rehearsing before or what. Do what you need to do. But you know when you bullshitting. And just because you created it, don't make it good. Okay? All right. That's all I had to say about that. Because I'm not no hate motherfucker, I want to make sure I understand that. I do like some of the people already on this list. Now, all of the freestyles haven't come out yet, which will be released on XXL's YouTube page, along with other videos like the ABCs that be doing stuff like that. But like Rayvon, his was the first one up. Yes. Great first release. Triplin, I just found him today. EM Triplin, M Trippin, EEM Triplin. Great artist. Love the freestyles. Got into M's discography and stuff. Y'all got some good music. So everybody not gonna be asked. I know, and I'm not saying that. But I think what sent me down this damn rant was when I was doing my research for this stuff, I kept seeing this Ian motherfucker come up. And I kept seeing people saying he not being accepted because he's white. The culture not accepting him because he's white. No. People have a problem because that verse was ass. That is the most viewed video right now out of the last 3 people that have been put out for XXL freshman class list. That's the most viewed one right now, with over 500,000 views. But it's not because people are validating this man's work. It's because they saw a snippet on TikTok and clowned him. Then they went to YouTube, saw the full thing, and kept clowning him. Go to the comments. I don't know how he got on this list. I ain't never heard his name before. But I hope he take this feedback that he's getting and get to pushing that pen. I can already see a little liner. Y'all didn't like me, whatever. I can already see it. And you should do that as an artist. We're not going to always have our W's and stuff like that. So take them lessons when they come and use it to fuel your shit even further. So Ian, this is specifically to you. I'm going to keep watching what the fuck you do, because that Cypher was ass. That freestyle was trash. It was. Same with that Baby Chief Do It, booty cheeks. But I'm going to watch what y'all do moving forward. Now that I know y'all here as a lane, as a space to be in, I'm a tap in. I'm a tap in. Because I hope y'all use these things to move forward. I hope y'all use these things to propel you even further, as any good artist would do. Baby Chief Do It, I've heard of him before a little bit. I haven't heard any of his music, but that freestyle wasn't it for me. But I did like some of the lines he had in there. It wasn't clicking. It wasn't clocking. It really wasn't. So I'm gonna stay up to date with what's going on with Double XL. They're gonna be putting more of the freestyle stuff out throughout the month. Make sure that y'all stay tapped in. Make sure that y'all are looped into those spaces. And y'all, please, let's be a bit more attentive into who we put into the spotlights. Okay? So last thing, y'all, it ain't really a story. I just want to make a comment about this. I saw Lauryn Hill getting dragged. So apparently Lauryn Hill was, I believe, the closer for literally, for Essence Fest 2025 this year. And people was mad as hell because she came late as fuck. Now, personally, in my mind, because, Lauryn Hill, been late, stays late, legendary. Absolutely. Absolutely legendary. But she be late all the time, y'all. Like, she been late for some years now at this point, if I'm not mistaken. But I guess Essence Fest was a cap for a lot of people, because I guess she reportedly went on stage and performed her set starting at 2:35 in the morning. That's diabolical. I don't care who you is. Child, I don't care who you is as an artist. You are out at 2:35 a.m. starting your set for an audience who went for you for the last 2 hours. That is diabolical. That's crazy. That's crazy. So I want to think my 2 cents on that. That is really something wild. And I just felt like y'all mad for no reason, because y'all know Lauryn Hill gonna be late. So anything that you attended where Lauryn Hill gonna be at, I just assume she gonna be late. Okay, at this point, you're setting yourself up. You setting yourself up, and I can't feel bad for you. So I'm glad y'all got y'all show, because she did perform. She did still perform. You know what I'm saying? She still went on that stage and performed. She made y'all wait. So, I don't know what to do with that. But Lauryn, because you be saying it's your team and stuff or whatever, have you life be lifing around you. I get it, girl, but you also know these shows in advance. 2 hours is wild. I can understand 15, 20, 30 minutes maybe, but 2 hours and that late, baby. Baby. So with that being said, y'all, that closes out our Let's Talk About It with King, okay? What's going on, y'all? It's your boy King, and we are out here today for Artist Spotlight. Yeah. So today we got somebody I am so proud to have on the show. I'm gonna read off his introduction because I don't think I could do it any better. So I'm gonna pronounce this name the way that y'all need to understand it, because for some reason y'all tripping on my cousin name. So today we have Baby Scythe. He is a music artist for his own soon-to-be production company, Wraith and Wonders. Are you going crazy? He created and produced art visually and audibly. He's been making music for years, harnessing, learning, and also growing behind the scenes. But now he's just presenting himself and his talents to the world this past Christmas of 2024. So, y'all, this is my little cousin. The growth is crazy, but I'm happy to have you on the show. Introducing Baby Scythe, this motherfucker. Yes, sir. How is you doing, cousin? How you feeling up today?
It's the 4th of July, man. I'm feeling good. Just dropped music. Still new music and always creating stuff on the way. So I'm feeling amazing.
Yes, sir. As I said before, artist spotlight is just the best. We can chop it up, have a little conversation, little 1, 2. You know what I'm saying? I really try, like I said before, have this space to kind of give artists their flowers early on. Cause I be seeing people doing their thing, and I just feel like these last few months, you stay on my timeline. Like I can't get away from your music. I can't get away from your videos. You always doing something. So I love to see the consistency. I love to see the persistence and the vibes you're coming with is I fuck with it heavy. I fuck with it heavy. So we gonna go ahead and get right into some of these questions. So first question that I have for you today is, what was the moment you knew that you kind of wanted to go into music? Like, what kind of pulled you in towards that way?
So I always kind of like wanted to have an outlet to how I was trying to express myself and what I was going through when I was younger. When I turned like 17, I met my best friend, and we was just watching like kind of people become superstars right in front of our faces, and we like, bro, we damn near know the formula, the format. And then he always just told me, as he looked at me, he see me growing like progressively, slowly over time. He's like, bro, you got it, you got it. You need to pursue that, do that. So I knew I wanted to do music when I was 17, but I knew I wanted to take it serious and actually thrive with it when I was like 19. The calling to me specifically that really pulled me to it was when I was actually making music and my friends and my people around me was telling me that it sounded good, particularly the same friend I'm talking about. Because I didn't used to really be able to be comfortable in rapping in front of people and like kind of freestyle, but he was the only one who was with me by myself, and he used to be like, "Bro, you got that shit." We watching it, like, "Bro, I could really see you doing it." So that was kind of the pull towards it. But when I was young, I always had like a dream. I wanted to be a superstar, but I never knew how. But as soon as I was able to tap into the rapping and the music, it was just like a straight correlation. So I seen that as my outlet, and I took it.
Oh, I love that alignment and alignment. Always come. I think it's a saying like doing what comes to you naturally. And I can tell kind of like when you are even in your videos, I can tell like you feel like you in your element. You look like you in your element. So I hope that that's something that you actually are not only feeling the passion behind, but the support that you got out the gate is that's something that you got to run with because people don't usually always have that out the gate from that. So what kind of inspired the name Baby Scythe? Like where did that come from?
So, baby, as you know, I'm the youngest of the family, the youngest of the clan, each and every way, shape, and form. But that was the baby part in it because I was the youngest. But the Scythe name came from my cousin. Shout out Kev. He just always find me as like different and cunning and mysterious in a type of way. And he was like, bro, that name, something about that name in particular, you need to stick with it and run with it. So shout out to Kevo for that.
Name creations is always an interesting story. I know I got a lot of questions behind like my moniker for King J or J the Don or Poppy Frio specifically. That was the one people was like, "What the hell is Poppy Frio?" Uh, but I think it definitely compartmentalizes like your energy. So like, do you think you got like when you are on these songs? Because it sounds like sometimes you bouncing back and forth from like different vibes or different energies, but you still got the same tune. So like, do you feel like you got like how a lot of artists got like alter egos and stuff in their music? Do you feel like that's a separate sense of you, or is that still you as a person, or is it like something that you kind of just curated for that music space?
All right, so particularly this is why it's real important and it's a real deal. Shout out to Kev because when I was able to like actually profile myself in like this music, and I was able to like keep going and just like correlate. I just kind of found it like a alter sense, like a second sense. So what I find like an alter ego, some may say, but it's really my spiritual side of me. Like the name Scythe became bigger than just music to me, and that's why it means very much to me. And I'm gonna just try to print him out to the world as much as I can in every way, shape, and form. It's my alter ego for sure.
And that's the real shit. I like that. That's the real shit. Yeah, no, I definitely. I remember when I was at the studio and I put out my EP for "It's Only Right" in 2023, and I was at the studio. I only have on that project, I think, like 1 or 2 songs that I actually did in the studio. Everything else I did at the crib, so all the setup and all that kind of stuff. But it was one of the producers who was there who was like, "Yeah, you got these different sounds on different tracks and stuff." So he felt like it was different side, like it was still me, but it was different sides of me. You know what I mean? Like it was different parts of like I guess your expression kind of coming out. So definitely be vibing with the I guess the alter egos, I guess, on the various tracks. Speaking of the studio itself, have you been in the studio? Like have you recorded your projects in the formal studio, or are you still kind of like doing it on your own in that space?
Every single thing that I've ever done and recorded, whether you hear it or
Mm-hmm.
you soon to hear it, it has been done in the studio.
Yes, sir. All right. So when you kind of first get into that studio, what were some things that kind of came to you naturally when you was in that booth versus what was a little bit of a challenge for you when you got into that space?
So what was always natural to me was the ability to keep my flow and keep that little dun or whatever makes somebody attached to the song, whether if it's a chorus, a good hook, or a good verse, or a good bar. But something that I had to work on was my tone. I can say that in the volume of my voice and how I was projecting into the mic. So like my ability to sing, my ability to melodize, my ability to like kind of change my voice in ways y'all be hearing it now. It took a long time.
Bruh. Yeah, and I think honestly, a lot of artists got to get comfortable hearing themselves back
Yeah.
on the mic.
And it get to the point where really, me as an artist, I probably won't even like the
Yeah.
song I just recorded till like 3 days after, because I'm still stuck. I'm saying this. I'm still stuck in the same phase that I'm kind of rehearsing it, and I'm kind of still doing it in the studio. So I say like 2 days after, I'll be able to catch that flow and that rhythm that everybody else will be able to hear when it's time to hear it.
That part, I really do think, especially when it comes to like, um, harmony. I think that just rapping straightforward that's a breeze. It's kind of just your tone itself, kind of a little lower. But when you trying to like do melodies or harmonize with stuff and you vocalizing, that's the part I feel like you really gotta lock the fuck in. Like you gotta be on your ear. So do you feel like you've developed that over the time of you kind of being in that space? Like, do you feel like you're getting I guess a third sense in that music space, like what sound good and what don't?
Yeah, because it definitely got to the point where in my music space, I'm able to like kind of pinpoint those songs that people will be able to catch up and pick up on. But I don't like degrade none of my
Mm.
music in no way, shape, or form. But it's like, you kind of say you got your favorite songs, but you don't want to say you got your favorite child. You know what I mean?
Honestly, I think until artists get around like A&Rs, like people don't recognize how impactful, I guess, to your point, like you don't want to say you got favorite songs, you don't want to say you got least favorite songs, but when you get around producers or A&Rs feel like helping you put the projects together, shit get real, and he would get real critical. You're like, hold the hell up. So with that, how and you kind of mentioned this kind of having people around you already. So do you feel like you got a team behind you, or you feel like is it just you on your solo dolo?
Me right now, it's on my solo dolo, but I can give a shout out to the few people that are on my side and help me when it come to putting my visualization out there. But in terms of music, producing the music and everything behind that, that's all me. That's all solo right now. But my team behind me, creatively in a way, that's helping me get the image of Scythe out there so people could be able to see me as they hear me. Shout out to them, yeah, for sure. So we got a team when it comes to that.
So with people around you, how was it kind of when you started putting out music? How did like your family, friends, people around you kind of react when you started putting out music? Especially, I want to know how the fans start reacting when you started putting music out and stuff.
Okay, so it's crazy because this journey has been very coercive and it went two ways. I'm glad you said that in both friends and family because if you know me, you know I always used to be with like friends a lot of the time, and I used to be like I guess you could say deep, like a lot of us. And when I started actually embracing the music and stepping forth in this path, I kind of lost all my friends. I kind of seen like the things that I'm doing and producing with this music and how I'm going about it that maybe they just don't correlate with how I'm doing it, or like maybe they not giving me that extra help or push. You know what I'm saying? But on the other hand, family was my backbone. They was my this is it's like they was waiting on me to bring out something, and this was like the golden box that everybody just wanted to see. So my family really was the push behind a lot of it, especially when I just first dropped my first couple of songs that led up to my first release. It was more so my family giving me the moral support, the moral feedback, and the moral compass for me to be able to keep going instead of the fog and feeling about like I don't know how to feel about certain situations with my friends because they feel some way externally about how I'm going about my music in a way, but it definitely went two separate ways. But shout out to both sides because if it wasn't for neither of the ways going how they did, I wouldn't be able to be live in the flesh I am right now.
Man, that's real. Because honestly, like I said before, a lot of people out the gate don't got a lot of support behind them. And I think my theory behind that shit is honestly, I think people see you in a way. Like I ain't gonna hold you. I'll give you my personal take. Like when I started seeing you doing music and stuff, because also always in my eyes like y'all, if y'all don't know, well, y'all don't know, but we all grew up together. So like it was me, Deontay, it was Emmanuel, Daniel, my sister. Like shout out to the gang, right? Like, we was outside.
Fuck a foe. We was outside.
No, for real, we was outside on scooters in this bitch. So like, we really ain't had no time, like, had no problem, bro, on bikes and shit. So it's crazy to see. When I started seeing you putting out music, I was like, okay, you know, because I'm putting out music, you know, it's okay, I already put out music. It's cool, it's a vibe. I put out music too, like, it was a vibe. But then to see, like, project after project after project, and it wasn't like 2 or 3 songs. You had, like, full-length projects. Like, you had Aristocrat, that came out in 2024. You had Poetic Justice, that came out this year. And then another one that came out this year. There's a hole in space. So it's like you've been... And on top of that, you have visuals behind it. So I was like, you know what? Let me actually like tap in because I saw the pressure you was adding behind it. So I do have to give you your flowers there, man, because you put out a lot of content. I think when I put out the EP, I said, cool, EP out. I got other shit to do. So I'm for real, and at that point, I was like building up Kvngdom too. So it was like I'm trying to balance all of this stuff. But I feel like you found a space that you like. That's your lane. Like that music is your lane, and you running with it, bro. So I'm really rocking with it. I think out of your projects, I guess that's what we see visually on the outside of things. Do you remember the first song you ever made? And what is it? If you do remember it, what was it? What is it like now? Thinking about the start to where you are now.
Ooh, you just made me go through a whole "That's So Raven" moment right there to that song. But whoa, the ethereal feeling that I could still hear it, and it's crazy because I remember the first song I ever made. And you said, "Dude, how would I correlate it to now?" I'd say that I grew in that aspect extremely well. Now that you asked me that question, that's a fantastic question. I appreciate that. I have maneuvered and grown in that aspect and that type of flow that I was chasing extremely well. Because if you know, like behind the scenes, I used to show a couple people when I first started making music and recording it. I used to tell people like, it's not the right time. It's not the right time. The time is not now. And people always used to be like, bro, your fucking sound is there. You know what I'm saying? When people hear the music now, my cousin just listened to my album. He said it was worth the wait, cousin. It was worth the wait. As long as I wanted to master your sound and I know how bad you was chasing it, it was worth the wait. So I grew with that extremely, extremely.
Bro, timing is everything, and I think especially in that creative space, you be an artist, you sensitive about your shit. So I rather sit with a project for like a year and a half, knowing I fine tuned it and knowing I like put my all into it versus just putting some shit out. And people tell me that all the time. Just put stuff out. Just put stuff out. I'm like, no, y'all. It's more than just dropping stuff. You know what I mean? I'd rather be on my Frank Ocean shit, give you some shit every 8 years. and when that 8th year come out and that project drop, you playing that bitch for the next 15 because the time was put in to make it like that. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, because I'll see some of the freestyles I used to do, and I'd be like, whoa, what's going on? But now it's like, damn, you really see that projection or that progression overall. So as you kind of continue to foster your success, I've also noticed on your projects you don't got a lot of features. You don't be doing too many features in this house. So is there a reason why behind that as to why you don't be doing features with people, or is it just more so like a space that you want to kind of craft out for yourself first?
It started off with me actually being able to only make features. I feel like that's what really kind of pulled me into that solo space. Because if you know, back when I was 16, Dan dropped about like 2 songs, but they was kind of recording the
Yes.
song. And
Yes, the NFIB, shout out him.
yeah, and I feel like I was only able to come on their type of timing. So when I was able to get by myself and I was actually able to find the type of sounds that I like, and I was able to correlate my artistry into those type of sounds, I just feel like I could maneuver in so well to the point where I didn't want anybody to kind of come add their flavor on it. And I feel like even if somebody could, they wouldn't be able to come and like correlate in the way that I would on my songs as you hear them by myself now. But I was always able to come on other people pieces of art and come on their time. But you see how my sound is different. Sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's melodic. It can be hard at times, but it's like an overall sound that I just be after, and it's an ethereal feeling I feel like only I could produce. So I want to provide my fans with that true sensation of Scythe before I get to making art with everybody,
No, I feel that. I definitely feel that. I used to be like that too when I was writing I don't write in the studios no more. I do that outside. But when I used to write in the studios, I would feel the same way because I was my line brother from my fraternity. Shout out Neil. Would always be complaining about how I didn't like the fact of collaborating with people on writing stuff. I feel like if you a rapper, if you an artist, write your own shit. That's just how I feel. That's just how I feel.
Bro, people really done like asked me to be a ghostwriter. I said I would never in my life
No, I ain't got it in me.
to come up with these songs and lyrics in ways that I do.
Yeah.
I'm never finna just give my talent to somebody else. No, sir.
Bro, and like I don't. I mean, I'm not going for folks out there who doing that. By all means, do your big one. And I do recognize like even like a lot of the hits that you hear on radios or Billboard and stuff like that do have a lot of minds creating those sounds or those hooks or those verses. But me as a person, I just think I like the craft of the music more than the accolades for it.
I feel like that's what really pulled me into that solo space too as well, because after somebody asked me that and I wasn't even really making music for real, but they knew I was able to come up with that that everybody ever wanted to catch up to and them words that they wanted to hear. I sat back and I asked myself that question and I really felt God in my head like hell no. So that's what pulled me into that space of making my sound and being so heavy on my sound, and that's why I be sounding so mysterious and ethereal as it do now.
I don't know. I feel like it's a vibe that people gotta tap into for themselves, and I think that creative source. I've had previous guests on the show talk about like the how God is like a divine source for creativity and how everybody taps into it on their own
Absolutely.
way and shape and form, and it's a way that I can access it that you can't access it, so that you can access it that I can't access it, and it's a thing. So I don't know. I think with the collabs, I'm getting open to the idea of doing music with other people and stuff like that, but I want to make sure that it makes sense. I don't want shit to be forced.
Yeah.
I don't want nobody I don't want to get on nobody's shit and I'm like changing they vibe, and I don't want my shit changing my vibe, but adding to it, like making it go harder, making it stronger. So with that in mind, I know you said you're not really focused on collaboration right now, but if you had the chance to pick anybody, alive, dead, famous, not, bubbling, grown, whatever, is there anybody that you would consider or want to have on a project or a project that you want to hop on somebody else's?
You said alive or dead? A full project? One person?
I'll give you three. We'll do three. We'll do three. Three people.
Okay, I'm gonna have number one, Michael Jackson. That's my goat. That's my goat. Two,
I can see that.
my favorite artist, Bruno Mars. I need that.
That's caught me off guard. I didn't know Bruno Mars was your favorite artist.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah,
do music. That's really was my first.
Yeah.
I used to have a DSI, bro, and used to be able to get like. I didn't have Wi-Fi at the crib when I was like 9, 8 years old. I had a DSI, and I used to listen to "It Will Rain" over and over on my DSI, sitting in my bed.
Bruh.
And when I was like, bro, the nigga had a song called "I Want to Be a Millionaire So Bad," then turned it to a millionaire, and I'm looking at this shit like, okay. And then he's just able to tap the pace he do, man. That shit is glorious. But in the third spot, I'm gonna have to go with my inspiration for like all artistry, Young Thug.
Why Young Thug?
because he able to produce music and his lane of artistry so divine that nobody could kind of like match or steal his style.
That part, I will have to say that I know that when he first came out, he he had a lot of attention because he was different. Like his aesthetic was different, his sound was different. And people had a hard time really like trying to understand what he was saying. I think that's what that's what made people like gravitate towards him at first. It was like, what the hell is this motherfucker saying? But as he kept putting out music, it was like, oh, bro got like a vibe. Bro has a whole theme around his music. Like it can't be replicated. And I gotta shout out Granny. Shout out to DS.
Shout out Big
The
Gang.
DS that threw me back. That threw me back. Yeah, yeah. Our granny used to we all had DSs. That was the go-to.
Well,
Man.
that's the lady I'm doing it all for right now. And it's crazy that you say that because
Hey.
now that I'm thinking about it, the first Young Thug song I probably ever heard was Lifestyle, bro. And that's what really made me catch on to him. Because, you know, they did a lot of shit just to live. Then he came on that bit. Then a lot of shit. I was a kid, though. I'm just yeah. Bro,
Yes,
like
sir.
caught my attention. Then, like you said, it was the aesthetic and the follow up with him, and just to see him be who he is.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, that yeah. You just had to be there, man. You just had to be there. It was a vibe, it was a time.
I feel like we
And
a golden era of like this generation. Like our age gap, like, cause I'm 23. So
yeah.
places I always said that like you was like in the formal area, and then I was kind of like the last one, the class of 2020. You know, but cause I feel like
Yeah.
they didn't able to grow up on the shows, the music, the aesthetic, and just like the feeling of seeing the media grow into how it is today. Like the
Yeah,
kids
bro.
today automatically just got a tablet at the age of 2, 3, or 4. We didn't get a phone to damn near high school, middle school. Like, what the hell? I was just thinking about this. Like, motherfucker was watching the Disney Halloween shows, and that won't even come.
Bruh.
That's not even a rerun no more. But that was something in history that we was able to experience and watch transform into Disney Plus and everything that it is right now.
I think during that time, a lot of the culture that we have today started getting cemented. So like all of the way music kind of approached, all the way that like streaming platforms, all that shit wasn't there. We had Netflix, but like and Hulu and stuff, but like all that other stuff like Cartoon Network and all that kind of stuff didn't. It was like you had to catch when you catched it and called it a day. Same with the creators. So it was like you was either there or you wasn't. We had the little iPad or the what was it, the iPods and stuff every now and then,
The
and then the
no
DS.
bigger than a pump
And we
man right now and shit.
Bro, that part we had all the illegal MP3 downloads that had the like DJ steps on it and shit, like the producer tags on them. Like it was, we was really like trying to get in there. But we all would watch this like growth of people from like that celebrity space or that YouTube when YouTube was kind of like building up. People was really in their shit. So that's why I think it's a whole generation of people that's like really in that creative focus because it was such of our pastime. We were just like we knew we were supposed to be in that space. You know what I mean? So I think the collabs definitely something I would encourage you for sure to tap into whenever you're ready to do that. But always echo like to make that authentic because I've seen when people have had collaborations that was really like, oh, the label told you to do this, or oh, you thought it'll get you some more attention or notoriety. Don't fuck that shit. Like do what you want, do what makes sense, and the quality of that is gonna be felt in the studio when y'all recording, when the record come out, all that kind of stuff. You'll feel that. So this one I got for you is around your music, right? So we finna get into the projects. So let's start with I'm gonna just reference Aristocrat because I think that got one of my songs on it that I like. It was Change My Smile. So that was that was when I really was like, okay, Cuzzo got it. Like when I saw the video for that, and I remember you sending it to me, I was like, I was like, yeah, 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 it's a vibe, it's a vibe. So, what was your thoughts? Because I think that's your first song on Aristocrat.
Absolutely.
What was it like making that, and kind of how was your what was the story behind Changing My Smile? Like, where did that come from?
that song is literally a sonic sigil, and I'm glad that you chose that song out of all songs because that song means so much to me. Because, like I said, I was building the correlation for Baby Scythe to be able to present itself in the way I do now, but I feel like it was never divine timing, and thank God that the time it came to be because I was spending my 2023 summer in jail, and I knew that this wasn't something that I was supposed to be like getting myself into. This is not who I am as a person. I wasn't supposed to be in this predicament, but as God says, trust and rely on Him in every way, shape, and form. For everything, all things are possible. So I'm sitting in there and I'm just thinking like the music has always been on my mind heavy. So I'm just thinking like I gotta pursue the music. But I always thought of one thing that what could just make me stand out from everybody in like all ways, shape, and form. And I'm looking around the dorm, because I'm in there with probably like 59 other people with 60 people in total. I'm like, bro, I'm finna dye my fucking hair blonde. So I tell the dude that I'm in there chopping it up with, I'm like, bro, I get out this motherfucker, I'm finna change my hair. He like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm finna dye my shit blonde. He look at me, he like, bro, don't do that shit. And when he told me to do it, that was a confirmation that I needed to do it. So
Yeah.
following up with that, I got released out in the fall of 2023, and I was in just like this space where I knew that I wanted to change, but my hair was still black. So I was like, change my hair, ooh, ooh, ooh. And then the spring of 2024, I just started getting that spark. And then I actually wrote the song before I dyed my hair. So I'm like, okay, now that I done submitted the platform for me to be able to change and adjust to, let me actually chase it and actually do it. So following up with that, I recorded the song probably in about June, July, and I just kept listening to it like this just sounded like a debut song that I could just represent my brand myself as. So I'm like, all right, I'm listening to it. I dye my hair, I change my smile. I'm looking at myself, but I'm not too sure to find. Like it was kind of like a little feeling of nervous. I ain't know how people was gonna look at me when I dye my hair color. But I'm looking at them, I'm like, man, fuck that shit. We finna rock with that shit, man. We gone. So I dyed my hair right before my birthday, cause I always get like this uppity spark around my birthday. Everybody know what that spark is. So I'm like, I'm finna completely rebrand myself. I'm listening to the song the whole time I'm going through this phase and this change. So when I dye my hair, I'm just looking at my scalp like, bro, I really took the first step. There's no going back. It ain't no turning around. It ain't no if, ands, what's, or buts. If I don't take this shot now, I'm damn near scared. You know what I'm saying? So, motherfucker, like, okay, we got the hair down. I was looking at my smile, and I'm like, man, motherfucker just dyed their hair gold. I need to just feel gold and just like make my mold, this infrastructure of myself golden. So I went to go get some slugs. These pricey motherfuckers. It was worth it though, cause I was able to the come back and the whiplash behind it. I definitely was able to feel like myself and feel like who I am right now. So when I dyed my hair and I got the grills, and this was my first ever music video, and that's why I always say it's a sonic sigil. It's a beautiful debut song for myself and my persona. I was doing a music video when I was still having that sensation of being nervous, but midway I'm like, fuck that. This is who I am. This is what I'm about to do, and this is what I'm pursuing. I'm stepping into this space. And when I start really getting comfortable, I see the cameraman. He actually, so behind some shots, he like, yeah, bro, I see what you on. I see what you after. And he like, how long you been? I said, bro, this is my first song. This is my first video. All this, that, and the third. So with that coming and that building up, and just like all these personal affirmations on top of like the external, like your hair look good from the family members, ooh, your teeth look good, and the sound song good to people before I'm actually releasing and dropping it, I was able to put up all that power and just alchemize and fuse it into the song and to be how beautiful and amazing it is right now.
Man, see that? That's that real shit there. That's the part I think. That's the part I think a lot of people don't get into. Is like I think a lot of music is vulnerable, and it's like when you don't know the meaning behind a song, you just kind of hear the punchlines, you hear the hook, you hear the verse or whatever. It's one thing to say the words of a song, but it's another to understand where it's coming from. Because when I first heard the end of the hook of "Die My Hair and Change Outside," I was like, I can hear this in choices. Like I can hear this outside of just like, oh, I'm just playing and just be playing a song. Like I heard this like, okay, it's summertime. Like I saw a visual in my head. Like it's summertime. The summer just started. And we finna go outside. Like that was where I kind of came with that mindset from. So I really fuck with that song heavy. But also in your other projects, so like Poetic Justice and There's a Hole in Space, they both got very same with the first one too, Aristocrat. Those are heavy, like powerful titles behind those things. And I'm a person of word choice. So whenever you hear my music, it's like you gonna hear certain phrasing, and even my parents and my family know I'm real big on word choice, word selection, because words hold weight, words hold meaning for shit. So what kind of inspired the titlings of all three of your projects?
So with There's a Hole in Space, I recently was just in a car accident, you know this. And by the grace of God, I walked out there and I'm able to move my fingers and my toes and do everything that I'm doing because the accident was real bad. So upon this, I don't know. I personally know what I was doing wrong because God always makes stuff happen for a reason. I appreciate him for that. Hole in Space, I'm sitting in the hospital, literally probably like an hour or two after this. Like, what am I doing wrong? Why would God make me get into a car accident? Because I wasn't doing nothing to get into a car accident. Somebody ran a red and hit me. So I'm thinking like, and I'm the type of person, I always catch this type of shit before it happens. I usually don't get hit. My mama said this. So I'm just like, what is it that I need to do? What is it that I need to change internally for me to stop letting all of this feel like this gray cloud just over me, kind of bringing some type of thoughts in my head, making me feel some type of way at sometimes, keeping me up at night. And then I was able to go home and just sit with myself in solitude. And I was scrolling. And I seen kind of like this infrastructure of this ideal of a manifestation. And it was kind of like breaking down like the little choreographics with the infinite sign. And I always loved the infinite sign. And I seen a picture that had literally there's a hole in space on the thing by the infinite sign. So I'm like, okay, this is kind of a big correlation. So going past this, I'm just scrolling through infinite signs. I find the album cover for what it is. Actually, it comes from Gravity Falls. It's the McGruckett goddamn handbook. And it says there's a hole in space with a direct correlation to everything. But I was able to apply that to myself and like, there's something in me internally that just flicked in this instant moment where I'm like, I gotta change and I'm not finna let this dark cloud predict and project everything that I'm stepping myself into. Especially I gotta be able to present myself in this phase and in shape and form myself in the best way, in the most authentic way. So I feel like with There's a Hole in Space, I was able to be that hole. I am the trajectory of the different sound, the different visualization, the different type of aesthetic that I be after. So that was released on account of literally probably about 3 days after I got in the accident. I got in the accident on the 17th. I found the picture on the 30th, and I was like, I gotta go express this, what I'm feeling. So that night, I found the picture. I literally stayed up probably till like 3 in the morning. I wrote like 9 songs, but all nine of them on a project. And I was able to take some of these songs when I recorded them. I went to the studio probably the very next day. My sister took me for 3 hours. I got all 9 of them. And I'm listening to them, and I'm looking at the picture now, and I'm like, this is just mere opportunity for me to give my fans a follow-up of how I'm doing. I'm okay. But at this point in time right now, I'm about to change something internally, and I want y'all to be able to hear and see it with me. Because my next project, I'm stepping into a completely different mind space, different completely mind frame and projection to be able to show Scythe in his rawest form. And There's a Hole in Space brings that sound that kind of bring what I'm going after. But not direct correlation because it's always new creations being made. It's always a download coming to me telling me to write a song in this format, this melody, this way. to follow up behind that, Poetic Justice is actually a project that I was working on for a year straight. And it wasn't even supposed to be as long as it was. And the songs that aren't on there are going to be coming up and being followed up with very soon, very soon. But it was originally supposed to be a 7-track album that I released the 2024 of Valentine's Day. But as I told you, I was still like coming up with this upbringing with dyeing my hair and like how I want to project myself. Because I wanted when people to hear me and see me, I want them to be able to be like, that's Baby Scythe. That's not Deontay. That's not D-Tay. That's not Tay. So however people call me. I want people to be able to be like, that's Baby Scythe. That's that gold hair kid who rap. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up postponing Poetic Justice for a year. And after I dropped Aristocrat, I was going into another space of cocooning, you know, coming up with my next move, saying what I'm about to do. And that just so happened to be an upbringing in my head. I'm like, let me drop this Valentine's Day. But I wasn't prepared for it, timely. It's always divine timing. And it was just something about the month of May that just wanted me to just be like, this is a perfect time to plant a seed. Because Poetic Justice is something that I want people to be able to go back to. I don't want you to be able to listen to all 20 songs in one time. That's if you do that, I appreciate you and I thank you very much. But Poetic Justice is a journey. It's an experience. Like you might be feeling this the front half of the album is more uppity. You might be feeling more, you know what I'm saying, get your jig on. But then probably weeks from now, you probably feeling like, okay, it's some work that I need to do, it's some work that I need to put in, it's something that I want to change. You know, you probably get into that second half of the album. So I was like, this is the perfect time in May to plant this seed for my fans to be able to sprout with me and grow with me. And me bringing out 20 songs is like a bird spreading its wings. I want you to see every feather. I want you to be able to like coincide with the way I'm coming and how I'm feeling behind this new journey for myself. And it was something about the 23rd. I just love the number 23 as I'm 23 years old. That just rock with my head so much. And I'm like, this is the perfect time for me to be able to bring this out. And crazy to say, it was supposed to be longer, but I'm like, no, that's not how this artistry works. Let me actually make my fans see the picture I'm trying to paint. I don't want to just release music because I'm trying to get money from it and I'm trying to get exposure from it. I want this portrait, this art piece for my fans to be able to be like, okay, this is the journey of Poetic Justice. This is what it was supposed to be, and this is how I'm feeling coming into it, out of it, in the midst of it. And that's how it was just like, it's like you growing along with the album. You feel me? Probably like ascension in audible form.
Yeah, it reminded me of like Kendrick Lamar album for like Damn, where it's like you can't. I mean, you can listen to it just straight through, but if you start the project from the beginning and follow it, the story all the way to the end, it's a whole rise and fall of things. So every song kind of coincide with the next. And for some songs, it sounds like the song will bleed into the next song. So I think that's just another aspect of like the attention to the artistry. And you got a lot of references. I'm a very spiritual person. So in my sense, I always try to be attentive to like shit God trying to say through things or confirm through things. So like when a situation happened, like okay, well, why was that situation? Because I'm a firm believer. It take two. It's always something that you are able to pull from. There's never no losses. It's only lessons. So what was the takeaway from them things? And it sounded like you tapped into that space too, where you kind of recognize, okay, I'm being shown this, I'm experiencing this, I'm kind of going through this for a purpose, for a reason, and I have to figure out what that is. And then when I have that understanding, how do I express that? How do I correlate that experience and put that into my music? That's literally what the artistry behind all those things are. And I just love to hear how ingrained it is. Like you ain't just making some shit up. Like that's the part. You ain't just saying some shit just to say some shit. It's like everything you got is intentional. It's intentional and it's a thought process behind it. So I just love to see the focus behind those things. So on your latest project, what would you say is your most favorite song on that prop? And I know you said earlier there's no favorites or no or least favorite, but what's if it was one song on There's a Hole in Space that you would want people to play first, I guess, what would that song be?
Okay, so the song that's two different songs. My favorite would be the intro, "Love Is a Drug." I'm gonna just get that out there. I just put that out there. I don't got favorites, but right now that's the song I'm kind of like. That's the sound that I'm kind of like falling in love with. "Love Is a Drug" into that, because I love acoustic guitars. I love the guitar rhythm. I love the harmony that they come behind. And when I'm able to just coincide my art on top of my favorite type of sound, that's just like the one I feel like I thrive in the best. So my favorite personally would be "Love Is a Drug." Go play that. Definitely. It's the intro, the beginning to the EP. And the song that I would tell people to go point at first would be "Cosmic Traverse" though. That's my second follow up strong suit right now.
So let me ask you this: are you more of like a? I think with me, like I don't like you said, I think we hold on to music for so long before people actually hear it that I think sometimes we can get over a song that we got, or we can get like, I feel like I've grown from that at this point in time. So with your music approach, like when you're writing stuff, are you more of like a lyrical focused person? Like you're more so focused on like the punchlines, the metaphors, the similes, or are you more like the general sound, like the more melodic, the more how instruments and how your voice are kind of playing together? So which one do you think that you're more attuned to when you're writing your stuff?
So it's crazy you say it in that way because I'm in tune to both. And the fact that you just distinctly said those two things mean that some artists may be having like some varies between the two. But when I'm making music, I'm predominantly just focused on like they gotta hear what the fuck I'm talking about and this I don't know, bro. It's just like I don't even be trying. I don't want to say I don't try to make it sound like intentional, but I really just be trying to just flow my passion and my pain and my experience through music. So when it come out, maybe you be hearing the fast little catchy, you probably be hearing the melody, and then probably like how you do that with his voice. But truth be told, I probably just focus on just being my true authentic self when it just come to being aggressive with the music. And as I'm writing it, I'm rehearsing it. Shout out to my engineer. He the one that made me tap into that tone. That tone I told you I was having trouble with at first. He told me, as you're writing, you should rehearse. Like, think of it as a sport. You know, you got to practice basketball to perform well. So when you at home, you actually writing, sing it with yourself. Like, sing it to yourself. Like, actually sing like you sing it to yourself. So when I'm writing the little parts and I'm saying it, that's probably as I'm picking up and tapping into that space of rhythm and flow and melody and harmony.
I also recognize when it comes to making full projects, it has to have all those elements, and it's not just
Absolutely.
just the bars, just the vibe, it's all of that together. So I'm glad that you recognize, like, yeah, in your music, it's both being brought together naturally. Again, don't force shit. When you forcing it, it's not fun. It's not authentic, and you could try stuff, you could try new things, but make it yours. Make it what you resonate with. And if you don't fuck with your shit, and that's something I do want to say to all the creators out there watching and listening, if you don't fuck with your shit, if you are a writer, a producer, a designer, whatever, if you don't like your shit, nobody else will. That's the part. You have to like and love your shit first before anybody else can come behind you and support, because they could tell when you faking the fun. You know what I mean?
And a lot of people got to learn to be comfortable with just like learning and be like acknowledge that you not gonna start off as an expert. Like a lot of songs,
you gonna fuck up.
Yeah, yes. A lot of my songs when I first started like recording my sound, like as you said, that first song I ever recorded, That shit sound. I ain't gonna say it sound horrible. It's a beautiful piece put together, but it doesn't sound as magnificent as the sound does now because I wasn't able to trick with my voice and learn myself. You gotta learn it. You know what I'm saying? This is a craft that you gonna build into and thrive into and just like grow into. This ain't gonna something you just gonna be level 100 off rip. Like the lyrics could be there, but is your tone, is your projection, is the you sounding how you feel, you making the audience feel how you feel when you was making this and writing this and even recording this. You got to be down for the journey, down for the ride, down for the experience, because
Bruh.
you probably ended up loving being supposedly weak, because you're not really weak. You just kind of like building and flexing and exercising your muscle with it. So you probably feel like it's weak, but when you were able to look back on that and see the journey and how you was able and how long it took, but how good it is now, you're gonna be feel proud of yourself and feel real good for yourself.
Yeah, you only fucked up and stop when you stop. Like you only stop growing, you only stop succeeding when you not doing shit. So I got one of those parts of my song where I say like quality improve over time inevitably because it does. The
Mm.
more you're doing something, the more you're engaged in stuff, that you're going to grow. But you can't just come in with the mindset that you finna put out one track and now you Jay-Z or somebody. You know what I mean? And especially with the world of TikTok and stuff now, I think people got a lot of instant gratification because sometimes your song can blow up on TikTok. Like shout out to the girl who made "It Was a Fairy." Yeah,
My,
yeah, it was a like you know what I'm saying. Like that's a vibe. But if you ever listen to any of those artists who when they go like on Genius and stuff like that, none of them will tell you, "Oh yeah, I expected that to just blow up." No, it was part of the algorithm. The algorithm made it blow up. So you can't rely on just those one moments and think that everything gon' just flourish for you. So yeah, it's definitely a journey, and it's a marathon, not a race. With kind of still on that topic of like content writing, because if you can't tell, I'm real big on people writing their own shit. That's just me. That's just me. In the music community, folks will go back and forth all day about do it matter? Is it important?
yes.
Do people give a damn? People will go back and forth all day, and I feel like my stance on that is like if you a rapper, if you an artist in that space, write your own shit. But if you a singer, I recognize a lot more in that space. People are writing songs and then sharing them with each other.
I
But
think
that makes sense to me because not everybody got the same voice. So if I'm like writing a song for Beyonce,
mm,
can't nobody sing that song like Beyonce. You know what I mean? I can
okay.
anybody can write the words, but you can't sing that song like Beyonce. You can't sing that song like Michael Jackson. You can't sing that song like Patti LaBelle. You know what I mean? So I understand that sense, but when it comes to rapping, I feel like that's such more of a vulnerable storytelling space. I can't tell your story for you. And that's how I feel with that. That's just how I feel with that ghostwriting stuff. So with that in your mind, is there a lyric or a bar that you written that whenever you hear it, you like, damn, I was in my bag. Like I really went crazy with that one.
Okay, so with a lot of my songs, I definitely write from a place of being vulnerable. I definitely be storytelling. But one song in particular that I love, and it's on Poetic Justice, the second song I believe, it's called All In. And I wrote this dedicated to a special somebody. But it's a line on there I said, I wish I had more time, but it got deeper. So like given that, I had to turn myself into jail, and I wish I was able to spend more time with that somebody before I was able to be institutionalized, I guess, because it was a good run. It was a good feeling. It was a, like my, I wasn't in the right space, like mentally and all of that, but I feel like with that person, I feel like I just wanted a little bit more time to just express myself and just be that person for them, but I had to go to jail. So with All In, I said I wish I had more time, but it got deeper. Like life got deep as fuck before I was even able to tell you how I really feel about you.
And that's the part, timing. Time and everything. I think you said that a few times throughout the interview today. Um, it's a song by Janae Eiko called "Divine Timing." It's all in divine timing. I listen to that song a lot because I think we as people just get in our heads about shit, and we think sometimes time is guaranteed, or we think that tomorrow's promised or the next 5 minutes is promised and shit like that. So that's why I think a lot of people got to just live in the moment, live in the moment, live in the moment. Because again, it's not guaranteed. So people around you, tell them how you feel about them. You know what I mean? That opportunity, go for it, do it, fuck it, go for it. You live once, and you never know how your day, your life could change in the next hour. You know what I mean? So definitely recognize those moments. I think again, even when we do identify those moments, it goes back into the music. So even though you may have had the chance to say what you wanted to say, you said it on the track. So all I would really do is like, hey, real quick, play that.
Yeah.
We know where we at with that.
Uh,
You really trying to like not only you found your lane, but I feel like you're trying to see how far you can push that. You know what I mean? So how do you, as an artist, continue to push yourself and continue to get out of your comfort zone and try things that you may not 100% understand, but just get to that mindset of fuck it, we gonna do this. How are you kind of motivating yourself to do those things?
my cousin told me the same. He said, when you tired of something, you gonna say you want it to change. But when you sick and tired, that's when you gonna change that shit your damn self. So when you get sick and tired of like, damn, why the fuck I'm just not, it's just time. It was like a spark me. I'm like, bro, it's time to rock and roll. It's never gonna be the perfect time. Cause if I waited for the perfect time, I wouldn't even be making music and be in this opportunity in this space that I'm in to talk to you right now. So you gotta just be able to say, fuck it sometimes, and just be like, I want to see what this gonna bring me. I wonder how could this stretch and bring me into something else. Cause you never know where opportunity presents itself. You never know who opportunity presents itself through. So
Yeah,
just be able to keep your shoulders in that shrugging stage. Like, I don't give a fuck. This finna be an experience for me, whether it go good or bad, because you learn from what you fuck up in, and you love having good memories. I guess you know.
yeah. No, that's real shit. I learned that in college. Like I feel like that's what. Cause for people who don't know, I was finna drop out of school sophomore year. I said, you know what, this shit, I was over it. I went and filled out the paperwork, and I told my sister this a few weeks ago for the first time. I told her like, yeah, like I turned the paperwork in, and it got sent back to me, and they were like, yeah, it was a typo or some shit, and I had to fix it to resubmit it or whatever. And I looked at the typo, bro. The typo was in my name. And I said, "Nah, nigga, you ain't never forgot how to spell your fucking name." So when when I saw that, I was like, "Okay, I think that's God telling you like rethink that before you finish that, rethink that what you're doing right now." And I looked around, and I was like, "Okay, my family. I ain't got a lot of family who went to school. I think we had like a mom who went. Shout out to Amon, bro. I think we had him who went to school. But I remember that sophomore year, Granny was gassing me up like, "Are you in school, baby? Okay, cool." My parents was gassing me up, and I'm like, "All right, let's take this bitch through," because you never know where it's gonna go. And I think doing that, opportunities kept coming left and right, left and right, left and right. But I learned the reason why I stayed in school was for me to get the business acumen and do shit like this.
Hmm.
So if I didn't have that understanding of like the legal side of things or the financial side of things, I always had the creative part. That was organic. That was natural. But I did not have the business sense, and no one around me really had the business sense. So that's what I went to school for. I came back and I said, you know what? Let me pour it into a business where I can give that same thing to other artists who, well, one, for the most part, don't think that we need that information because I didn't think I needed the information. But when I got it, I'm like, oh shit, we do need to know how to network as artists. We do need to know, how to balance the books and shit to make sure people ain't stealing money from you and all that. We do need to know, how to legally protect our music, make sure people ain't stealing our shit or labels ain't getting over or how to read a contract. Because that if you hear other people art interviews or stuff like that or stories, you hear how many people got like robbed or got like put into 360 deals.
Like, bro,
Uh,
TLC was the one that got it for me. They said they was broke for years. I'm like, huh?
bruh, and that's the part. And it's like you don't have to always have that as a forefront of thought as an artist to kind of think like, okay, I'm in for the music stuff, but at some point, especially when you kind of going as hard as you is, it's going to come in. And I think even like with T Grizz when he was talking about making money and stuff like that, how people really will like play in your face. And that's how you see a rise of like independent artists because they recognize labels be doing shitty shit. Labels will put you against other artists for no reason. Labels will shelve your music and you can't be an artist for the next 10, 15 years because you in a contract like Cash Dog. You can't do certain
Wait,
shit.
so you
So,
think labels really will make artists get into it with other artists?
oh, bro, yes. One of the one because so the people know I love me some Nicki Minaj. That's my baby. But two things I noticed in her career was the first one when she was kind of bubbling up. She had a performance with the Grammys. And I think this is the same year Whitney Houston died. They had a performance with the Grammys, and they told her like 5 minutes before her show, before her set, we don't want you performing no more. And they really didn't have a reason. They just said they didn't want her performing. So she said, "No, fuck that. I'm still performing." So she went and performed, and that was the start of her being blackballed from the Grammys, which is why to this day, Shawty ain't been nominated for a Grammy since. And that shit was in like 2013, 2012. And at the same time, it's crazy because she's the highest selling, highest awarded female rap artist of all time. So it's like you would think by logic she would have that. Or when the other second thing I was talking about was when labels were putting people against her just to try to like knock her off that position. So like Lady London is, I'm not sorry, not Lady London, Lady LaSure from the UK is one of those artists who got on, I think was it the Breakfast Club or one of those interviews where she talked about a label offering her, I think like $100,000 to make a diss record against Nicki Minaj, just in the hope that it'll start some shit. Bro, labels is crazy. They did the same thing with Cardi B and Nicki. They do the same shit with Nas and Jay-Z. They did the same shit with Soulja Boy and a lot of other artists. Bow Wow is another artist that they did a lot of that shit too. Jaguar, right? Another artist. Like, labels are sneaky, bro. And you gotta recognize a lot of this for the artist is about the creativity, it's about the music, it's about the art. But for the labels, it's about marketability, profit, and how long can they create revenue off you as an artist. That's why if you look at people deals, a lot of record label deals, they be shitty as hell. And a lot of people debate if sometimes artists even need them. Like shout out to Lakia from Milwaukee who was signed to Quality Control. Shawty didn't need a damn record deal. She was blowing up in her car. But because when you come in from cities and spaces where every day or not, it's not every day that a motherfucker will come up to you and offer you $250,000 for a project. If you in the crib, your internet off, your lights off, your water barely working, you just trying to live life and make shit work together. But when somebody come across and offer you some shit that you ain't never seen, never heard, you can get blinded by that. So that's why I created Kvngdom. Was like I wanted it to be a space where creators come together, tell stories, their experiences about growing and stuff like that, but also can get that education behind it because people get got. And in the world we in today, we now not only got to compete with each other for these spaces, but now it's like AI and shit. Timbaland just made a whole AI artist. So it's niggas who gonna be digitally alive, creating music, competing with other artists on Billboard. That's where we at right now. Like
That just went crazy in my head. Like, I wake up one morning and the AI artist just dissing me. Like, what the fuck?
dead ass. Like, what the fuck is they be saying? You look up the nigga who dissing you, and the motherfucker live on a computer. Like,
I'm getting on Timberland ass, bro. I'm like, bro, what type of shit you on? What's going on?
bruh, it's a thing. And I know you was on my dad podcast too. It was like a lot, bro. He could tell you stories for days, bro. I mean, I kid you not. But like that artistry component, bro, is something that's real serious. So own y'all shit. I say that all the time during regular episodes for Royal Voices. Own your shit, your masters, your publishing if you can. Make sure them splits make sense. Like, get understanding. You don't need to know everything. Just like with producing and stuff. I'm not a producer. I do not like producing. But I understand what gain is. I understand what reverb and all that kind of shit is. Get the basic knowledge because people will exploit you not knowing something, or will exploit you just not being aware.
Mm-hmm.
And that's real shit, bro. I really cannot stress that enough. What about what you're doing now is like, yeah, this is what I want to do. This is how I'm moving. This is why I'm going so hard behind this. Like, what's giving you that push?
Just the energy and the thoughts that start arising in my head, like as I'm pursuing this, because I just spent most of my life just making money, working, going to school, doing the normal thing, hanging out. But it's something about when I started doing music, I just felt like this sense of just like extraordinary energy. I'm just tapping into something that just feel natural. It feel good. It feel divine. And when I started making it, growing with it, nurturing as like it's like nurturing this talent like it's my child, really exercising it, feeding it every day, trying to like put it out when I can, but like make sure it's firm before I do release it. It was just like that, just like pursuing and taking care of this talent that just brought me a sense of like comfort and greatness, and it just like make me feel good, like this is what I need to be doing, what I should be doing, because you don't work a lot of jobs and you like this shit fucking suck and you making money, but I'm doing this for free and I'm feeling better than I ever have, than I'm making money, and I ain't even really got no pool coming in with the shit yet like that. But it's a good feeling. I'm able to express this raw, authentic form of myself, and people respect and like it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, you could feel your passion behind it, bro. And that's what I think I love the most. So with all that passion, with all that interest, with all that growth, with all that attentiveness, with all the new music you got loaded, what you got coming up next? What's coming down the pipeline? What's up your sleeve for the rest of 2025 going into 2026?
Woo! Crazy you said the rest of the year, because I just thought about this last night. So I knew that this is all just the true divinity. So August, I have my favorite long coming release album, 1001 Nights. This album was supposed to be my first release, but I had to build myself up spiritually, mentally, socially, financially, to be able to prelude myself like this and exert myself in the way that I'm about to. And this is coming in August, late August, 1001 Nights. My favorite, I don't like saying the word favorite, but my very well cherished album. In suit with that, I want to release my favorite month ever is October. I'm like, I've been tapping into my artistry for a very long time, so it's very exciting that I'm able to exert myself and drop and release now, because I took the steps without wanting to be ready or feeling like I was ready. I just said fuck it. So now that I'm dropping a very long coming tape that I was thinking about for my favorite month, October, that I was supposed to be released in 2022, Slime Tober. I don't know if this is gonna drop beginning October, or if I don't know if this is gonna drop the end of October on the Halloween. Slime Tober coming, and that's probably gonna be one of those ones where you hearing this newness and this sensation of just like ethereal transformation. Like where is this coming from? Like how when people first started listening to Thug, and they kind of like what he was coming at, but they was able to grow with it, and how he was able to build and flow into it. That's what these following projects about to bring. So Slime Tober is coming.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to release, because you said I don't have any features. That's why I said I was thinking about this last night. Like, damn, I really do want to just like have a piece of project, piece of art, where I just have only features. And I'm about to really do this. I'm finna release a tape with only features, and I'm probably gonna release this on Thanksgiving, so I can give thanks to God for being able to bring up this whole new horizon, and give thanks to my fellow co-creators who are about to be on a project with me. We gonna name this probably Avengers Assemble. I'm thinking about it. Avengers Assemble. And that's probably coming Thanksgiving, and then we gonna conclude my rookie year, 2025, with my own self-titled album, Baby Scythe, Scythe Frost.
Yes, sir. I see, and that's the part I'm talking about. The passion behind that's the whole rollout, and that's just 2025. I'm gonna be watching. I'm gonna be waiting. I'm gonna be tapped in. I think that's gonna. Yeah, you got a fire behind you, bro. And that's the part of creators I love seeing. Like when I'm going to like the Forbes conference and stuff for 30 under 30, or when I'm at Adobe Fest stuff like that, and I meet other creators with that same drive behind shit. I don't know what it is, but it makes me so happy, bro. And I'm just so happy that you in that environment, that you in that space. Because it's been a long time coming, man, and I think people gonna start being able to feel that, bro. So seeing my little cousin on here, y'all don't understand that's a vibe, bro. That will never go away. I've been swallowing this whole interview. I've been swallowing this whole interview, bro. Oh, shit is crazy. Shit is crazy. So I know we kind of close at time. So one last question I do want to ask you is there any advice that you have for people who are kind of starting out in that music space? I always try to get some opportunity for folks to kind of share things. Is there any space that or any advice that you want to give to people who are growing, following what you're doing, and kind of envisioning themselves following your footsteps?
Yes, I want to say, listen to yourself. And it's probably gonna sound real crazy because a lot of people probably not really tapped into themselves as much as we are because we was grew up and raised into actual like being spiritual. A lot of people don't know how to listen to themselves so they can listen to what God trying to tell them. When you really separate and isolate yourself from the bunch, and I'm talking about like probably for days, probably for weeks, probably for hours, however long you need to. You know how long it takes for you to tap into that rhythm, for you to start being able to pray, for you to be able to pray and listen. So, with that being said, listen to yourself, believe in yourself, and just don't no. Delete the idea of second guessing. Don't second guess nothing you doing. You have to be firm. You have to be consciously aware that like this is what you're doing and this is your second sense. Treat it like I seen this quote. It said, "It's a difference between being talented and being obsessed with it. People who are obsessed act like they gasping for their last air. You know what I'm saying? I need this. I need this to happen. I want this to happen so bad that if it don't, I fuck around die. You gotta let your artistry and your creativity, whatever sense you're tapping into, allow that to live in its own form as a second sense of you, because it's an extension of yourself. And you probably not even gonna understand where a lot of the ideas and creational concepts that you coming up or where they coming from, but when you able to dialect them and present them how they are, you fuck around, fall in love with it off the rip. So don't second guess. Trust yourself, listen to yourself, and believe in yourself.
Bruh, that's the one for me. I'm gonna clap that on up, bruh. I gotta clap that one on up. Man, that believe in yourself part. That's one of my if you know, you know. One of my saying things from my fraternity. Believe in yourself. Don't give up the fight. Keep struggling on with all your might. That shit there, believe in yourself. Cause motherfuckers will you'll be in an environment sometimes where people are not as supportive. You'll sometimes have to stand alone, hold your own. You may be the only motherfucker in that bitch with the vision. Be comfortable in that. Run with that. Run with that. Cherish that. Keep that in your hand. And honestly, I think you got it, boss. So with that being said, thank y'all for tuning in to this episode of Artist Spotlight with Baby Scythe, y'all. I've been giving you flowers this whole thing, but I'm gonna keep giving it to you, cousin, bro. Keep doing your shit. Don't let nobody stop you. Don't let nobody cut that off. And type in with the kid if you ever need anything. I'm here to support. Need a version, let me know.
I'm always trying to learn and gather some inspiration and motivation from those who older than me. Because like I said, I'm Baby Scythe, I'm the baby. I know y'all not going to tell me nothing that's going to do no wrong. Y'all only want to see me do good. So definitely going to tap in on that inspirational tip and motivational tip. I want to thank you for bringing me on. I want to thank you for just giving me the opportunity to present myself as I am on Artist Spotlight. And I want to give a shout out to you. I want to give a shout out to my family, God first, and I want to give a shout out to everybody that's watched and everybody that's about to watch.
Yeah, appreciate you. So with all that being said, thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll catch y'all next time on Royal Voices. So I want to thank y'all for tuning in to today's episode of Royal Voices motherfucking podcast. Yeah. Ooh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is episode 6, y'all. We is trucking along nice and lovely. We back to our scheduled programming. So, like I said before, Royal Voices episodes will be coincided with Artist Spotlight. I hope y'all enjoy my baby cousin, baby Scythe. Yes, sir. This Artist Spotlight. Yes, sir. Tesla got a vibe going, y'all, and I'm rocking with it, y'all. He is putting in so much work, so much time, effort, and energy, y'all. This man put out like damn near 4, 5, 6 projects by the end of this damn year anticipated. So y'all, I just want to cap it up, give them the flowers, and again let y'all keep knowing that Artist Spotlight is a space where we give people their flowers early on. You know, you never know where people gonna be at tomorrow. But you can see what people are doing today, and it don't gotta always be somebody who's, you know, all in the limelight or all in the stardom, but people who you can see visibly around you doing the damn thing. And sometimes they need a little bit more push, a little bit more support, backing to become these great, great, great superstars and great energies and these great brand owners and these great entrepreneurs we see around us. So, y'all, we all play a part in these things. And I'm so happy I can provide the platform and space to give that platform to other people as well. So, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in today. The world is crazy. So I'm going to leave y'all with this. Be loving or be nothing. Be kind. Take a second to think about the next person. Take a second to put yourself in another person's shoes. Sometimes people having an attitude ain't because they mad at you, but because they life hard as fuck. Sometimes people ain't mean for no reason. Sometimes people are having days where they are trying to just hang on. They don't justify the shit. But when you seek understanding in other people, it definitely helps you operate around things a lot better. But also gives you, you know, better understanding of people around you. So, like I said, with the world doing what the world is doing, with this country doing what this country is doing, recognize there's still life to live. Go touch some grass. Hug your friends. Call your parents. Check in with your siblings. And take care of yourself. Protect your mental, your physical, and your spiritual. And keep smiling. Okay? Keep smiling. With that being said, thank y'all for tuning in to today's episode of Real Voices Podcast. And I will see y'all next time. And remember, we reign forever. Y'all have a good one.